Okay, I'm just going to go through your daily habits that you guys complete. I'm just going to go through why we measure those, how they interact with each other. Because when I look at them, I don't necessarily just look at the one line that you've got. If it's a low score or a particularly high score, I'll look at what might be causing that, which might be one of the other lines. So there's a lot of interactions between them, between the different habits, and also I'll look at exactly why we're doing that in terms of our goal, which at the moment is weight loss. Um, so the first one is the hydration. So you probably all know that you're kind of like supposed to be hydrated and keep well hydrated, but maybe you don't know why you're supposed to do that. So water or hydration, being hydrated, plays a big role in digesting food. So it helps us to break down that food and it helps us absorb nutrients. So we're obviously working in a calorie deficit at the moment. And that's how we're losing weight. And it's the only way that we can lose weight. So if you're in a calorie deficit, which means you're eating less food or inherently eating less food, then you want to make sure that you're digesting as much of that and using the nutrients from that as much as you can. And why 2 litres? So the recommendation 2 litres is a really general guideline. It's not specific to any body in particular, but it's sort of found to be a generally well accepted level. Now, if you're living in a particularly humid area or you're doing a particularly active job or exercise, then obviously you'll need to increase that water intake to take into account for that. Now, your hydration level can influence other habits. So, for instance, dehydration can lead to lower energy levels and it may increase your feelings of hunger. So, by keeping yourself well hydrated, it's going to support both of those things. And from a weight loss perspective, you're going to be looking at the way that the water helps with metabolic processes. So water actually doesn't break down fat, but it's included in the process of breaking down stored fat, or burning fat, if you like, metabolizing fat. So drinking those 2 litres of water will help support those processes. And obviously, we've just said it acts as a natural appetite suppressant. Often, actually, when you feel hungry, you're not hungry at all, you're thirsty. So quite often by drinking water, you will just delay those feelings of genuine hunger, which then should mean, obviously, that you'll be eating less food, which is, again, part of that sort of the calories in, calories out equation. Moving on to steps. So the kind of the purpose of the steps is to make sure that you're regularly physically active. Now, being active obviously helps you control your weight. It's really important for weight management and cardiovascular health as well. And it burns calories. So before we were talking about the calories in with your the water and the food, this is your calories outside of the equation. But why 10,000 steps? So it's just been really widely recognised that that's a really good number for overall health. You may do way more than that. Some of you are doing way more than that because you're active or you're taking your dogs for walks and things like this. And there's no reason for it as 10,000 specifically, I don't think. It's just that it means that you are being more active than most people. You're not being as sedentary as most other people are, or a lot of other people are for sure. Now, obviously, regular activity has got a direct correlation with your energy levels, stress levels, and the sleep quality. That's the first thing I notice. It's weird, I don't notice it if I don't exercise for a while, I don't notice how badly I'm sleeping. It's only when I start exercising again and get into a really good routine that I realise how well I sleep then. And obviously when you sleep, that's when you're repairing your body and recovering and coming back stronger and all that kind of thing. So that's what you should be doing it for weight loss. The 10,000 steps helps you burn calories, it boosts your metabolism. It's a really practical way to create a calorie deficit, which is what we're doing for weight loss. But on top of that, you've got the mental side of things as well, the mental health side of things. So it's really good to reduce stress, and lower stress levels will decrease the likelihood of emotional eating, which is a really common thing in weight loss, which we'll go into at some point as well. And obviously it's a load bearing exercise, so it's going to work your muscles to improve our muscle tone. So there's really kind of like, I don't know how many reasons that is, but it's loads of reasons to be doing like 10,000 steps every single day and more if you can. So going on to sleep quality and the length of time that we're sleeping for. So both of those are really good for your physical well-being and your mental well-being. So the quality of sleep supports muscle repair, it works for your immune function, and lack of sleep obviously is the inverse of that. So poor quality sleep can lead to weight gain, impaired cognitive function, so not thinking very well and not being very sort of sharp, if you like, and can lead to stress. and all those things can have a negative impact on weight loss. So sleep and stress levels are the big thing here. There's a whole hormonal thing about this as well, and again, I may go into that at some point in more detail. There's a stress hormone which will interact with your hunger hormones, but that might be another day. So obviously, and obviously, if you don't sleep, you're tired, so your energy levels are lower. So maybe then you're not going to be doing exercise, and then maybe you're feeling low about not doing exercise, and then you get the emotional eating again. So you've got this horrible kind of cycle that goes round and round. So if you're sleep deprived, your body's hunger hormones, like I said, they just go mad. That makes you more prone to cravings, and makes you more prone to overeating. And when you do overeat, when you do kind of like get that comfort food, you tend to go for the high calorie, high sugar, high fat foods, rather than you're not going to go, I'm really stressed, going to eat a carrot stick. You go for a bowl of ice cream or a chocolate bar, or whatever else. And energy levels, right? Okay, so energy levels from this, your energy levels are a reflection of your overall health generally. Okay, when you consistently consume nutritious foods and maintain proper hydration, you will experience steady energy levels. If you drop either of those two down, you get these kind of peaks and troughs. And if you're in a trough, you're not going to be doing any exercise, you're not going to feel motivated to other things either. So that has a massive impact on your nutrition, or nutrition probably has an impact on your energy. And that then will have a massive impact on what you're doing. So if you're not doing the exercise, you're not, again, working on the calories outside of things. You're probably not going to stick to your workout, you're probably not going to stay active, and all of these things are really vital for that, again, the calories outside of things. Okay, let's go on to stress. So chronic stress, or any kind of stress really, can have massive impacts on your health, obviously your mental health, but your physical health, including weight gain. There's a link with cardiovascular problems as well, and a weakened immune system. Stress can also disrupt your sleep patterns, and stress can be caused by disrupted sleep and reduce your energy levels. So if you can manage your stress, if you are stressed, to manage it through relaxation techniques or through exercise, which is a massive stress buster, again, that can improve your sleep, and then it can provide higher energy levels as well. So when it comes to sort of the realms of weight loss, we are looking at cortisol, and that's your stress, one of your stress hormones. And if you release cortisol, which you release when you're stressed, that promotes fat storage within your body. There's a whole theory about how this goes all the way back to cavemen, about when they were stressed and couldn't find food, and winter was coming and things like this, that they released all this cortisol, so they started storing loads of fat, and that's still in us now. So the stress triggers the cortisol then promotes fat storage. But by effectively managing stress, you're less likely to turn to comfort foods when under pressure, and you'll create a more conducive environment, if you like, for weight loss. Now, your hunger levels is probably a really obvious one. If you're hungry, you want to eat. So what we're trying to do, and what you will notice, is that the sort of the sample food plans that you've been given will kind of spread your food out over the day and include snacks. So that's basically you're kind of, I don't want to say constantly eating, but you should never be hungry. And if you are, then we're doing something a little bit wrong. So the hunger's got a massive connection, obviously, with your nutrition choices and what you're eating. And obviously, if we're hungry, often, again, if we're hungry and we're not planned for that hunger, we often reach for the poorer quality foods. Again, we don't go for something healthy like carrot sticks. We're going for something quick we can grab as a packet of crisps, a bag of peanuts, or chocolate bar, whatever. It's not necessarily the planned food and the most healthiest options. And that's obviously what we're trying to avoid as much as we can. So if we can look at how all those things interact together, you can see collectively they all contribute to your overall well-being. They all kind of work synergistically to create this sort of like positive cycle of health. And if any one of those stops, we kind of go off in this sort of inverse cycle of negativity with the health kind of things. So that's why we do it. That's why it's really important for us. And that's why I ask you to do them every single day. And if I see any dips or any issues with it, low scores and that kind of thing, that's why I kind of drop you a message and say, hey, your stress level's really low last night or yesterday, but your food was over here, so maybe that's what it was. And it helps that sort of pattern recognition, so we can see those things. And if we see them happening again and again and again, that's when we can work together to put things in place to stop them happening again in the future. And that's why hopefully from all of this you'll learn how to do that. So that's why we don't work on prescriptive nutrition. We don't just go, this is your diet, this is what you eat, because you're not going to stick to it. The way is to find things where you can eat the food you normally would eat and do the exercise that you enjoy doing, but make it all work together. And then if obstacles do come along, you've got a mechanism here to be able to get over that. I hope all that makes sense. If you've got any questions at all on the daily habits, then obviously just ask in the group or by message.